Welcome to Keep the Faith Ministry. I'm Pastor Hal Mayer, and with me in the studio today is Mary Grace Gellekanao. She's from the Philippines, and she's a very unique woman. I think you'll find that she is going to give you something to inspire you. Mary Grace, what has God done in your life to give you a ministry?
The Lord has been wonderful, and I have, from the very first day I started taking piano lessons, I made a promise to myself and to God that I will make every day of my life count for Him.
So you started taking piano lessons?
Yes, at the age of 6.
At the age of 6. Now you have only one arm, or
Yes.
one hand rather.
And a stub. And actually, my grandparents, they have been wonderful. They have been very supportive of me. So I used to hang out at my grandparents' house, and I loved to watch my aunt play the piano. And one day, my grandmother decided that maybe I should take piano lessons as well. So she went through 3 piano teachers before she was able to find one who was willing to take me. And I remember very well.
Because of your arm?
Yes.
Okay.
I remember very well the very first piano teacher that we went to. She told us that we were just wasting our time and hers, and she told us that I would never be able to play piano at all.
Well, that must have hit your self-esteem pretty
Oh,
hard.
yeah, definitely. But I am so blessed that my grandmother didn't give up until she was able to find one who was willing to take me. And she actually made a bargain with the 4th piano teacher. She told the teacher, why don't we do this? You can teach Mary Grace, even with her left hand only, and I'll pay for the price of both hands. So actually, the first 3 or 4 months, I just played the piano using my left hand only. But later on, we realized that I could also use my stub. I modify the pieces that I play. My stub plays mainly the melody, and my left hand picks up the rest of the chords for the right.
So, in other words, you have developed the ability to play the piano
Yes,
with your left hand and your stub.
yes,
That's incredible.
yeah. And I used to practice at least 4 hours a day.
Wow.
And there were times when my stub would bleed. I remembered I was giving a concert somewhere in Tennessee, and the moment I played my first piece, my stub started to bleed. I was so nervous, but I prayed, and I'm glad that the Lord was there. And looking back now, I realize, I have some difficult times growing up, rejections. I had a very low self-esteem. But I realize now why God allowed me to go through all those tough times, because He wanted me to realize how much I need Him in my life and how important He is to me.
So then you rely on Him for self-esteem and for your affirmation and who you really are.
Yes, definitely. And I remembered every time I would come home from school, I had nobody to talk to, so I would just run directly into my bedroom and cry myself to sleep. But my grandmother told me that I could talk to Jesus anytime. And that's what I did. And Jesus has become my very best friend. And,
Right.
I don't know what to do without Him in my life.
Amen. That's wonderful. Now, how then did you develop? I mean, you're a concert pianist now, aren't you?
Yes.
What's the difference between a pianist and a concert pianist?
I guess in my case, I travel all over and do concerts for.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm supporting 2 ministries.
You're supporting 2 ministries?
Yes, so I'm doing concerts not really for myself, but for other people.
I see.
It's like my way of giving back, I guess, because I realize now that the Lord has been so good to me. He has never left me. I have been so blessed. So it's my way of giving back.
All right, well, let's just take a few minutes and watch as Mary Grace plays the piano for us. Welcome back. Did you enjoy that? Mary Grace, what is the thing that really gives you joy?
Serving God and others.
What about the piano? How does that fit into it?
I think it sort of became my outlet since I had no friends when I was growing up. So piano was my best friend. I mean, besides Jesus, of course. And every time I feel alone, I feel lonely, I would just play the piano. So it has been very helpful. I remember that when I was growing up, I really had nobody. I had no friends, and but when I was in college, that's when I started playing the piano more.
Were you raising money then as part of your education?
Yes.
Or
No. For churches.
for churches? Okay.
Yes. And then, but I guess during college I started to accept my condition, and so I had more friends. And the Lord has been so good to me, and He given me a good support system.
What changed your attitude about your condition, your handicap?
I always long for a mother figure in my life,
Okay.
and somewhere along the way, the Lord sent me a few very special mothers. They became like a mother figure to me, and it made me realize that God really loves me. So that's when I started to realize my blessings, and that's when I decided that whatever happens, I'm gonna do anything I can for the Lord and to give glory and honor to His
So
name.
now you use your handicap as an asset.
Yes, and the Lord has turned it, my liability, into an asset.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
How did you change your idea about this?
I've always wanted to become a missionary through my music ever since. So at that point, and when I was in college, and everything changed, my outlook in life changed. So I made a promise that I will work for the Lord.
And so now you see this as a way to bless people
Yes.
rather than to keep you isolated and
Yes.
insulated
Yes.
into yourself.
Yes, and I realized one thing too. I was thinking my stub was cut just right.
Ah, right.
Because if it were any longer or shorter, then it
Okay.
would probably be hard for me to play the piano.
Oh, my.
And I have an elbow joint right here, which
Okay.
I could not bend. And I was thinking if it were bendable, then it would probably be hard for me to play the piano. And
But the fact that it's stiff gives you a way to use the keyboard
Yes.
with your left hand.
Yes, and there's like a fleshy protrusion right at the tip of my stub that's just the right size to hit one key. So having said that, I know without a doubt that I was created perfect after all.
Oh, wow. Folks, let's watch this again. I want you to pay attention to how she uses her right stub in playing the piano, now that you know what she's been through. Mary Grace, talk to me about what you want to do with your music from here on out.
Several years ago, there were a couple of people who wanted to introduce Mary Grace to the world. They told me that I could make a lot of money off my talent. I could make that much money that I could buy anything that I want. I mean, cars, houses, private jet, you name it. But there were two conditions. They told me that I could not mention anything about God, nor the two ministries that I'm so passionate about. They only wanted me to talk about Mary Grace and what Mary Grace can do. So I have to turn them down because I know it's not about me now, it's about God. And it's not about what I can do, but about what God can do through me. So I travel all over to give concerts for Adopt a Minister International.
Adopt a Minister International?
Yes.
Okay. What is Adopt a Minister International?
I live with I call them my adoptive parents in Louisiana now. The lady.
So you immigrated to the United States.
And the lady is from the Philippines as well.
So this is a Filipino family that you're living with.
Yes. The husband is American, but the wife, is Filipino. But anyway, after her first husband passed away, she ended up giving the life insurance money to build a church in her hometown in the Philippines. And then after that, she was looking for a couple of ministers for the church that she built. And it took the local conference several months before they could respond to her request, and only to find out that each conference has at least 15 to 30 unemployed theology graduates. They are unemployed because the local conference and the churches could not generate enough money to support them. This minister, sometimes it would take them like 10 or 12 years to finish college. And after that, they try to volunteer their time, but keeping in mind that they also have families that they need to support. So we try to find sponsors for them.
So Adopt a Minister is to find sponsors for Filipino ministers who need support as they do their ministry for the Lord out there in the Philippines.
Yes.
The Philippines is a very challenging environment, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is. And actually, we have several too supported ministers from Laos and other places, but mainly in the Philippines.
Okay.
So far, we have maintained 400 theology graduates.
Over how many years?
16 years.
16 years.
We have helped
helped 400
maintain 400.
400 ministers.
And 200 we have been absorbed.
So half of those have been absorbed into church employment.
Yes.
Okay.
Although I think my mom still sends 300 to 400 sends stipends each month for 300. Because each year, this...
You always add more.
Yes. So
there's still more coming out of school that can't be employed, so they need...
Yes, and sometimes we wonder why they still want to take up theology, even if they know that they don't have any guaranteed work. But I guess once the Lord calls you, you cannot really say no.
That's right.
Yes.
Isn't that interesting? So do you know all these 400 personally, or many of them?
My adoptive mom does, because she communicates with them regularly. And
she just lets you go and do the music so that you can raise the funds to help them.
Yes.
I see. So when you do a concert, do you take a collection? Is that how it is?
And then I show videos of the ministries.
All right. And now what is the other ministry that you do?
The other one is Help the Needy. We try to find sponsors for those patients who are in dire need of, poor patients who are in dire need of surgeries in the Philippines.
Oh, surgeries. Okay, it's just medical patients then that need surgeries, can't afford it.
Yes.
There's no government system that supports them financially for those things.
And
so
some
you
of
have
them
to find someone to do it.
Yeah, and they have like huge tumor on their face. And actually those tumors started out as a bump, but it's just that they don't have money to have it checked, so as days go by, it
gets bigger.
It gets bigger and bigger. And amazingly, most of these patients are non-Adventists, but once they have been helped, they not only the patients but the family.
It's a way of soul winning in a way, isn't it?
Yes.
That's wonderful? Okay, so now how many patients have you helped now And how long has that ministry been going?
That ministry has been going on for 8 years.
8 years.
And we
okay.
only take like 2 or 3 each year.
I see, because it's not...
Whenever the funds
I
is
see.
available.
Okay, so so you have about 20, 25, 30
More or less, yeah.
people that have been
Yeah.
helped through their
Yes.
surgeries as a
And we
result.
also try to build houses for poor families, yeah.
Oh, my.
One at a time. I mean, yeah.
How many a year? 1, 2?
Just no, not really a yearly thing, but just
Okay.
whenever there's a need and if
If you
ever
have-
we have funds.
Okay. Now, is this are the 2 ministries under the same sort of umbrella, or
Like
are
a
they
sister ministry.
they're separate ministries run by separate individuals?
Yes,
Or?
the husband of my adoptive dad runs the help the needy, and my mom runs the.
Oh, so they're really...
It's actually just the 3 of us doing this ministry, and we work from home. We volunteer our time. It's I think our love project for the Lord. So we work from home.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see. All right, that's very interesting and very very inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
So you do concerts all around America
Yes.
and all around other parts of the world?
Yes.
You travel
Yes.
internationally as well?
Yes, I've been to Canada, Japan, Germany, Guam,
Okay.
Korea.
Okay, all right. And the Philippines, no
Yes,
doubt.
of course. Because after I graduated from college, I joined the 1000 Missionary movement.
Okay.
And they sent me to Korea, and I lived there for 6 months. And most of the time, Filipinos, they go there to teach English, but what I did, I traveled and did concerts all over.
Well, the Lord has really blessed you, and I think that what we've heard today is perhaps one of the most inspiring things. He has taken you in your condition and used you. He has designed you in a very special way to do something that is so unusual and so profound that it has really, no doubt, changed a lot of people's lives, especially out in the Philippines.
Yes.
But it's also changed your life
Oh,
too.
definitely.
In the process.
Yeah. Yes.
How has that happened? What has changed in your life?
I think it gives me reason, purpose, because I love the Lord so much, and I know that it's only because of His love for me that I'm here. I have to mention one more thing. 2 years ago, I had an accident. I broke my right femur.
Oh,
I was actually going to perform in one of the churches in Boston, and of all things, for a disability awareness program in one of the churches there. And I was in Atlanta airport for my layover, and I was getting ready to board for my connection, and I was in the jet bridge. I don't know what happened, but my right leg is shorter too.
okay,
It's shorter and smaller than my left, and then I have to wear a platform shoe.
okay.
And if I step on something, even as tiny as a tic tac, it would throw me off. I don't know what happened. I was standing and the next minute
You were-
and I broke my right femur. And I was alone. Can you imagine how terrified I was? I've never been to a doctor. I've never seen a doctor. Never been to a hospital all my life up to that day. And I thought that it was the end of the world for me. I mean, it took me a long time before I have finally made peace with my past, and something like this happened. So I'm human. I still question God sometimes, But I am so blessed, I guess, because I have a very good support system who are very prayerful, who are very close to the Lord. And it made me realize later on that I should be thankful instead. Because had it been my good leg or my good arm, or had it been my stop, it probably would have been worse. I guess the devil was trying to stop me from serving God. But I'm glad I know to whom I belong.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So it healed and everything is going on?
Yes, I had to go through 2 major surgeries.
Ooh.
The first one didn't work. And then the second orthopedic surgeon decided to put a longer metal rod with 10 screws.
So you're full of, you can't even go through a metal detector.
No.
So you have some challenges at the airport too.
From now on, after that, since the incident, I had to request for a wheelchair, because used to that I would just walk. I mean, But yeah.
Well, no doubt you still can get where you need to go.
Yes.
And that's the important thing.
Yes, oh yeah, and I still travel by myself, and sometimes people would ask me how I do it. But I guess I pray all the time, and I know that I just ask God to send thousands of His angels wherever I go. It doesn't mean that everything would be perfect, but in the end, God's love and grace would still show.
That's Mary Grace, that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that testimony. Thank you for sharing with us
Thank you.
today, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. And to close our time together, I'd like to have our audience one more time just watch some of the music that you have performed. And in the meantime, may God bless you and keep you, and may His work in your life and in the life of your ministries expand and grow as much and as far as He can permit.
Thank you, and only for His honor and glory.
Amen. That's right. Amen.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.